welcome to Our World Hour of Power. You're here with Lady Pauline and my partner, Mr. Glen, Greenidge, our Honorable Mayor of Sutton Boulevard. Hi, how are you today?
I'm great. How
Okay, you look good.
Thank you.
I have a special guest with me, Cedric from the
YMCA,
the Executive Director of Jamaica branch out here. How long have you been with the YMCA?
I came in 2002 as the Associate Executive Director and have been with the Y now for 18 years.
Great, so I guess you like it.
I love it, absolutely. Great work.
What is some of your fondest memories that you could think of?
Oh, I have so many of them. I think of probably the greatest learnings. The Y is such a diverse organization in so many different ways. And the humanity that comes with working with transitional housing clients and seeing people go from what folks would classify as homeless to transitioning into permanent housing, and seeing people that uplift themselves. But probably one of my favorite stories is a young man by the name of Damien Escobar. And Damien used to come to the door. He was about 15, 16 years old. And at that time, it cost about $5 to get into the Y for a guest pass. And he would never get a membership. He would show up at the door with $2, and I'd say, let him in. And let him in, let him in. I did that for 2 years. And one day I'm watching a Knicks game, and after the game, they were featuring Subway artists. And this young man would spend his days playing violin in the subways and come to the Y to play basketball and to shower. And I knew then I was doing something special. He went on to America's Got Talent, they became in third in the nation, is now an Emmy winner.
Yes, I know the gentleman, yeah.
Yeah, so when you realize that the work you do impacts people, and it can range from those of the least fortunate to those who become the most fortunate. Those are my favorite stories over the last 18 years.
Well, but let's talk a little bit, because I don't know that people really understand all of what your Y does, the YMCA in general. I mean, everybody knows that there's a gym, you can work out, some places have a pool, and so on and so forth. But tell us a little bit more about some of the programming that you're doing that's impactful, because you talked a little bit about the transitional housing, and I think that's a huge piece of contributing to the neighborhood and to the community.
Well, Glenn, I think it's a great point. I mean, the Y has transitioned over the years, and today the YMCA is a 9-story building with 5 off-sites. And those 5 off-sites, every day after school, we're servicing 800 young people in after-school programs.
Okay.
We also have transitional housing with 2 other partners, Samaritan Village and ACQC, where we serve 269 folks, providing 3 meals a day, services, and all that.
Wait a minute, say that again, so I want the folks to really get that.
Right. So it's transitional housing.
Mm-hmm.
These are individuals who either have experienced, suffer from AIDS, people who've been homeless, chronic substance abuse, and this is the next step to re-socializing folks back into the community and making an impact on the community so that these folks can become productive again and go back to living the normal life that they had before they were in fortunate circumstances. And so for me, it's one of the labors of love of what we do. So from the 3rd floor to the 9th floor, we just have rooms, single room occupancies of men and women who came into the YMCA. I would say they come in with hefty bags and they leave with suitcases.
All right. Okay, cool.
How long are they allowed to stay?
It ranges. It ranges from individuals who might stay 3 months and be able to reintegrate back in, depending on the economic situation they're in. Because remember, while they're at the Y, they're going to be looking for jobs. They're going to be looking for permanent housing. They may need some mental services. And people forget this. Folks who experience things like traumas like Sandy and Katrina went through a lot of trauma. And so just to stick them back into a home after that experience is not necessarily the right solution. It may mean 3 months of therapy before they are able to actually go back into a permanent house. So we always assume, and this is one of the political challenges and battles I fight in our community, is that there's this stigma around the political term homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember sitting in a room once and I said, tell me who you define as homeless. Are former veterans homeless? Are women fleeing domestic violence homeless? Are folks who by no economic, challenges, no economic circumstances of their own, who lost their job? Are they considered homeless? Young men and women who age out of the foster care system at 18, are they homeless? I mean, and I can just go on and on. Sandy and Katrina victims, are they homeless? They're not homeless, they're people, they're our family. There's the same folks that are right in our communities every day, and that could be you or me tomorrow.
That's true. I agree with you 100%. Do the YMCA also provide counseling? Do you have that on?
Yeah, we have a licensed social worker right on our staff with our HRA contract. Also, too, both Samaritan Village and ACQC actually have staff. And where we don't have the direct services in our facility, that's where we work with the community, and we outsource a lot of those services. So they come and provide those services, or we send our clients to the agencies in the community that provide that service. And that's how we kind of balance it. I always say we are a lot of things, but we're not trying to be all things to everybody. And I think by partnering with the community and creating the right mix of what we need to do, because remember, we're still doing memberships at the Y, we're still doing swimming at the Y, we're still doing gym at the Y, we're doing a whole host of things. We're doing videography, and we're doing photography, we do computer literacy.
So all these are different classes that is going on a daily basis at the YMCA?
Absolutely. We have an outstanding menu of programs that are available. So, I always say this isn't your dad's Oldsmobile. The Y has evolved over the last 93 years in Jamaica to meet the needs of the community, and we continue to do so every single day. We're really concentrating now on technology because we realize that technology is so important both for those that have and those who don't have. Those who have, using it responsibly is the most important aspect. Those who don't have, providing access to those who don't have.
Now, can you also tell me about your youth program and how it's going to blend in with the revitalization of downtown Jamaica, Queens?
That's such a great question. So, one of the brainchild of the newest program that we developed, which is Queen Scholars in Industry, came from me sitting at so many of the important tables in downtown Jamaica. So I sit on Greater Jamaica Development Corporation's board, and when you hear about the redevelopment that's happening in downtown Jamaica, what you realize is there are going to be a lot of opportunities for somebody. And the question is, will we be included in that? And then I started having conversations with Damien, who now was ready to give back to the community, talking about opening up the first jazz supper club in downtown Jamaica, and that was just like a light bulb went off. I said to myself, here's the story. The story is that with all this development happening in downtown Jamaica, we've got to ready our young people and have them integrated in the process so that both the businesses and the young people understand that there's a marriage that brings them together. So what we're doing is we're actually going to have a big gala in 2020 in March, and we're going to be partnering up young people, 20 young people with 20 businesses in downtown Jamaica. And so the goal is to have those businesses first mentor the young people, teach them about the careers that otherwise they would not know about. And there's so many of them, whether it's engineering, architecture, hospitality, video production, any of the many things that are in our community that are going to change the face of downtown Jamaica. Our young people learn about that. And then have that become an internship where they get a paid internship to be able to go and learn that field, work in that company learning that field. Now, let's say the young people who are mostly going to be juniors and seniors in high school decide, well, this is a career I want to go, but I'm going to go to college to get this degree first. We want the companies to be part of supporting that young person in college, because we know college today is like astronomical in cost.
Absolutely, yeah.
So by having the companies adopt the kid, provide them with some type of financial assistance and support with school, the young people, they come back in the summertime, they remember the companies that support them. Yeah. And they come back and they continue to keep that relationship going.
What are some of the conversations that you have had with the businesses, and what do you see?
Well, I'll tell you, the first conversation I had, and I'm fortunate enough to have one of the greatest boards of managers in any YMCA in New York City. And so I started with that group, and that includes folks like Bernard Warren with Booker and Weber. He has his own real estate company up in Harlem. Michelle Stoddard, who's with Resort World Casino. Right. David Thomas, who's with Citigroup. I can just go on and on. Marcel Robin with State Farm Insurance. Pat Chin, VP Records. So just on the YMCA board alone, there's this host of people that could step in and provide that type of support and mentorship. And so everyone's been very receptive to it. And I think that what I was really surprised about is that people believe this is necessary. Because as we use that term gentrification, that word talks about exclusion. That word has a connotation.
It sounds kind of dirty word.
Exactly.
Yes.
But I think that when we talk about integration and we talk about integrating our young people into
That's
the
togetherness.
future,
That's togetherness.
And that's really what the Y's role is to make sure that folks understand that we're that entity in our community that seals the gaps between those things that we might be a little uncomfortable with those things that are real to our community. We know that homelessness is real to our communities. We know that that's real. We know that 8,000 young people travel down Jamaica Avenue every single day.
Yes.
Right? And the only things we notice when we see those 8,000 kids is the negative events that take place with that 8,000 kids. But here's the reality. If 8,000 kids travel down the street and only 4 of them are fighting, what's the percentage of that to the larger population of the good kids? And I'm really responsible for making sure that message about our young people is positive and it brings forth the right opportunities for them. That we're not just some news bullet about everything we do wrong.
Well, you know, one of the interesting things that you just brought up is when we begin to tap into the economic power of the collective. So we're talking about a huge group of kids coming down. What do? They're going to buy food. They're going to buy something to drink. They're going to, you know, so there are opportunities. And quite often we don't engage populations that come through our community so that they get that they're part of the community. We're providing you some possibility. And that's the thing that I hear in this program is that you're really actively looking at how do we integrate the conversation of expansion with our young people so that they can grow up with it as the community expands, which is huge.
Well, we know that one of the number one reason young people join gangs is for a sense of belonging.
Sure.
And so the countering of gang activity and negative activity starts when they are deputized to be part of the positive in a community. And so our continuum towards bringing that opportunity for every young person we do it for, we change community. And the whole transient component, I think, is really critical in Jamaica. They transit through. Yes. And so when they see that as a place that they go through where opportunity waited for them, because many of them will go back to communities, whether it's 40 projects or Baisley projects, or as far as Far Rockaway, where there's no opportunities for them. When they realize that in downtown Jamaica there are opportunities for them, they will change how they approach the community and they will change their attitudes, they will change their behavior. And that's really what we want to do. We know that mass incarceration doesn't work. So we better have alternative solutions to that. And I believe that opportunity is really the answer.
You know, the other part of it that's so interesting when you look at economic development, by getting through to the young people, you're actually ingratiating the families. So you're actually now creating a partnership with the community, the families, through the kids that may not have the connection that they've had before, but now they see that the young people are getting mentored and the businesses are reaching out to them and interacting with them. This also brings the family and, of course, the younger kids and the older kids and the parents are now have a sense of belonging in the community that they may not have had before given this opportunity.
Well, I always use this as probably my best example is that the YMCA as a building is a microcosm of community.
True.
Right? Because if you wake up in the morning at 6 a.m. to go someplace and swim before you go to work, that's one population.
Right.
Then by the time you get to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you have the seniors who come in because they don't necessarily work, they're on fixed incomes, they need an environment for themselves, and they need a sense of connection and belonging and a special type of exercising because they don't exercise the way everyone else does.
I know, because we were just talking about my poor back.
So we have specialized exercise. We have a program called Silver Sneakers just for seniors and people who may have suffered a stroke and are now slowly working their way back into the fitness world. So we have those kind of programs. Then by lunchtime, you got people who literally run out of their jobs from the family courts and other places. They run over to the Y. They've got 1 hour to get their workout in, and they need to get back to work. Right? Then by 2:30, 3 o'clock, we have all of our young people coming into the building for after-school programs and for activities. Then by 5 o'clock, you got those who are now getting off work, and that's a whole nother population. So by the time you look around, there's these multitude of populations, multitude of cultures, and all these different ages that have come into our building. So I get to see it firsthand. Meanwhile, we have our transitional housing clients. Many of them have been out looking for jobs, and they're coming back at the end of their day. You know, I mean, so when you look at the microcosm that a YMCA can be to a community, there's a lot to be learned.
How many people do you think come through your doors every day?
Well, last year we had 19,000 people come through our doors because we track pretty much everything. And programmatically, we have those about 2,000 members. We serve about 6,000 kids. I mean, so the numbers are astronomical when you think about the people that come through the Y. And I'll also tell you one of the things I'm most proud of, and this is one of the best kept secrets about the Y. The Y has started more churches in our community than any other institution that I know of.
Oh, because you rent out your spaces?
We rent out our spaces. So we have rooms that hold 15 people, and then another room that holds 25, and then you go to 50, and then you go to 100. And before we know it, like the church right across the street from us started out in our YMCA. And there's several stories like that where folks come in, start their local congregations, build, grow, and then go on ultimately to buy their own buildings.
I did not know that. Well, that's
You're
wonderful.
talking about All Nations, right?
All Nations.
Yeah, okay.
It was started in our YMCA.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's those stories that to me speak to, again, the microcosm that a YMCA is to the bigger community.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your after-school program.
You know, our after-school program has grown so much over the last 10 years because the need has become greater.
Yeah.
But I'm also proud of the fact that the partnership and the reputation. So we're right now in 5 schools in the area, plus the YMCA, and that's why we serve 810 kids every single day in free programs. And I want to emphasize, free programs. So we're, you know, PS48, we're PS40, we're at IS59 in Springfield, we're at PS26 in Fresh Meadows, we're at 175 in Ozone. So we literally have surrounded our YMCA, and we have an after-school program that comes right into the building. It's called a Sonic program, where middle school kids come into the building, have a safe haven, homework help, physical fitness, swimming, and all the activities.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Do most parents know about the YMCA and what they offer?
You know, I always say that there's always a continuum of educating community. You know, for me, sometimes the most educated consumer is our best customer. But oftentimes, I think what I've seen now is that we've developed a strong trust with our Middle Eastern brothers and sisters that now frequent our YMCA, the Hispanic community, which kind of, you know, saw us as maybe, because Jamaica, Queens is so large in the African American community, they saw us as more for African Americans, and now they're coming in. We've been intentional about our staffing patterns, so we now have Muslim and Hispanic, you know, staff on a regular. I'm very conscious when I look at departments. Do we speak the language and reflect the community at large? And so we've done a really good job over the last 10 years of increasing that. I think that's really where our strength has been.
That's wonderful. Cedric, how can people get a hold of you if they have any questions regarding the YMCA?
Oh, you can easily go on our website at ymcanyc.org. That's ymcanyc.org. Or you can call us at 718-938-8366. I'll give you the new number.
Okay.
212-912-2200.
Okay.
That's our newest number. We still have the old number, but that's our newest number.
Now, where do you want to be with this program specifically in 3 to 5 years?
You know, 3 to 5 years. So this program, Queens Scholars in Industry, is a brainchild that's sort of a model based on Black Achievers in Industry. And Black Achievers in the Industry raises over $300,000 now for young people to get scholarships as well as after-school programs and YMCAs. And I'd love to see our program in that same place. We're going to start small, but we're going to continue to grow this. I want to have larger companies involved in it. I mean, right now we have Deloitte, Touche, and the Resort Worlds, so I do think we have some pretty significant companies,
Absolutely.
starting us out. But I'd love to see the greater commitment where right now I'm saying a minimum of $1,000 scholarship to each kid for 4 years. I'd love to see that be $5,000 scholarships to each child involved in the program for 4 years. So, the long-term vision is just to continue to grow it and to give more opportunities to our business leaders to be our local heroes to our community and our kids.
And then let me ask you this. Where do you want to see the YMCA in general be in 3 to 5 years?
Such a great question. I'll tell you, 3 to 5 years, I'd love to see a brand new state-of-the-art YMCA while keeping our current building. I think what we've learned is that the social service component is really important. Historically,
yes,
they've been tearing down YMCAs and building new facilities without transitional housing. And I think that we realize now that there's 62,000 people in the homeless system. We need some place for the social service programs to still sustain themselves while we provide the community with the state-of-the-art swimming pools and gyms and all that kind of stuff. So the best of both worlds would be my dream scenario moving forward.
Okay, Cedric Dew from the YMCA here in Jamaica, Queens. Thank you for being our guest on Our World, Our Power. And before I close out, I would like you all to know we're on Caribbean Buzz Radio and TV, and you can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Google Play, and 144 countries that this here reaches. Follow us on Facebook as well as Instagram.
And I also want to acknowledge our sponsor, the law office of Stephen G. James and Associates, located at 8766 Suffolk Boulevard. The number 646-905-9000, and he's the man to call. He hasn't lost a case in 30 years.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you all for listening to Our World, Our Power. Catch you next week.
Okay, stay tuned.